Hey everybody, it's your old buddy Uncle Rich, the doctor of truthology, and this is Who's Telling the Truth. Guys, and today's show is show number 242, and today's date is November 19th, 2018. So we got some new technology. There we go. So we're going to try to get that new crawl on the bottom. So as you can see, we're new to this. So let's hope for the best. There we go. All right. So is everything all right out there? Okay, I don't see nothing on the bottom. All right. Anyway, the name of the show, this is going to be called the Trump Slump. Hey, that's good. We're getting better. This is going to be called the Trump Slump. And, all right, we might as well start with the clips. You know, our last show, you know, we did virtually a lot of the show on Jim Acosta losing his credentials, his press credentials. So, guys, I was really upset about that. And, you know, it's our First Amendment right, and for Trump to think that he was going to take away that right is beyond me. And, guys, you know, we wanted to put Trump in his place, and the news came out, and who was one of the first organizations to broadcast the facts? Judy, let's have clip number 1, please.
Hello, sir.
Number 1.
Timothy Kelly in this case says, quote, I will grant the application
Can I have some
for
volume,
the temporary
Kurt?
restraining order. I order the government reinstate Jim Acosta's press pass. So the
All right, can we play that again? And Kurt, can I get some volume?
Hello, sir.
That's number 2. Let's go back to number 1. All right, we'll play it again, please.
The federal judge, Timothy Kelly in this case, says, quote, I will grant the application for the temporary restraining order. I order the government reinstate Jim Acosta's press pass. So the
All right, guys, so you could see that the judge ruled that Jim Acosta was to be issued his press pass back. And guys, you know, why do you think the judge did what he did? There's a rumor, and it's a rumor, that the judge heard that Uncle Rich in Danbury, Connecticut was on to him, and that he realized what was going on, and the judge said, hey, if Uncle Rich says we better get our act together and reinstate him, reinstate him. So, guys, we're going to have a little more fun with some of the reporting with clip number 2. Judy, hit it.
Hello, sir.
Reporting for duty.
Thank you very much for reporting for duty. Thank you very much.
Look at this,
Appreciate it.
back in the saddle.
Yeah, good to see you.
We're going to play it one more time. Look
Hello,
at
sir.
this.
Thank you very much for reporting for duty. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, good to see you. There you go.
Boy, if that isn't putting a little salt in the wound, huh? And guys, you know, if there was one thing Acosta was privileged to be able to do, it was take a victory lap. And how did he take a victory lap? Judy, number 3, please.
Journalists need to know that in this country, their First Amendment rights, freedom of the press, are sacred. They're protected in our Constitution. And, you know, throughout all of this, I was confident, and I felt that this would be the result at the end of the day, that our rights would be protected to continue to cover our government and hold our leaders accountable.
See that, guys? Our rights would be able to be protected, and we'd be able to hold the government accountable. Accountable. And who doesn't want to be held accountable? Guys, there's one person who is very dear to our hearts. So, Judy, clip number 4, please.
I think we've wasted enough time on this witch hunt. And the answer is probably, we're finished.
What are the odds? 1 in 100?
I don't do odds.
I don't do odds.
I gave very detailed
casinos, sir.
You're right, and very successfully, actually.
Guys, did you hear that? He's a very successful casino. Judy, could you play that again? I want everybody to hear it. And Kurt, a little bit more volume, but hit it again.
I think we've wasted enough time on this witch hunt. And
on
the
this
answer
witch
is
hunt.
Probably, we're finished.
What are the odds? 1 in 100?
I don't do odds.
I don't do odds.
I gave very detailed
casinos, sir.
You're right, and very successfully, actually.
And he ran a casino, and he was very successful at it. Well, guys, it all depends on what you call success. So let's take a look at what Donnie thinks success is. So, Judy, let's have clip number 5, please.
What goes up must come down. And today, Trump Entertainment Resorts, owners of the Trump Taj Mahal, the Trump Plaza, and the Trump Marina casinos in Atlantic City, filed for bankruptcy protection. Trump himself stepped down from the board of directors on Friday, along with his daughter Ivanka.
Trump and his criminal daughter.
I have used the laws of this country, the chapter laws, to do a great job for my company, for myself, for my employees, for my family, etc.
He's used the laws of this country to screw the average worker and the guys that tried to help build his empire for him. And we're going to show you some stuff, I tell you. When you see, the whole show tonight, you're going to go, wow, I can't believe the guy was so scrupulous. Okay, he's an evil human being, and he's so evil, it's going to take us 2 big clips to show you. So let's get a taste of what the second clip is going to be about. Judy, number 6, please.
I have never gone bankrupt, by the way. I have never. But out of hundreds of deals...
But, sir,
excuse me.
That's your line, but your company have gone
You're
bankrupt.
lying.
What am I saying?
He's right.
What are you saying? You're saying that you're a
does on
liar.
the campaign trail now that he did not personally go bankrupt, but that's only because he was too big to go bankrupt. The banks had to keep him alive and breathing. And since then, he's become a wealthy man by selling the name that was based on failed projects.
Guys, so he built his wealth on failed projects. Can you believe this? He built a name. People buy the name. They don't realize that what he did has failed. Why? Because he tells these people, he tells the simple folk like Uncle Joey, he's successful and they believe it. And they never bother to check it out, but that's why we're here. And the next clip, we're going to show you where Wallace once again, was with Trump, and how Trump is explaining where he's trying to put everything together when actually he's tearing everything apart. So Judy, clip number 7, please.
But the idea that you call us the enemy of the people...
I'm not calling you that.
I'm talking
I'm
about...
not calling
We're all together.
You don't understand it.
We're all together.
No. I'm not calling you.
I'm not calling you.
It doesn't matter whether you call. When you
I'm
call
calling,
CNN and the New York Times...
I am calling...
And we're in solidarity, sir.
I am calling fake news. Fake reporting is what's tearing this country apart.
Now, what's tearing this country apart is the fact that you're delusional and you don't know what the hell you're doing. That's what's tearing this country apart. And what happens is you get people like Uncle Joey that get stuff completely ass backwards. And how do they get it ass backwards? From their sources. And guys, this next source we're going to show you, Uncle Joey sent this to me, and he goes, What do you think about your hero Avenatti now? And it was some foolish nonsense. And oh, we're getting a call. But wait, before I answer the call, let's play this clip, Judy. Then I'll pick up the call. But let's have number 7 in the
A short
meantime.
time later, Avenatti came running in and was screaming, "She hit me first, she hit me first. This is bullshit."
Yeah.
Are they still going to claim and say at the rally if there's another one, lock her up?
Lock who up?
Hillary.
Hillary.
What I'm talking about.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because his daughter was just accused of doing the same thing. 800 emails. I'll talk to you later. Check it out.
Okay. And guys, I think we screwed up because I don't know if you heard him at all. I didn't have the microphone in. Ay. All right. So anyway, now we got that together. All right. So, Judy, did we play clip number 7 from Uncle Joe? I tell you what, clip number 8. Let's play it again because it's a short one. So number 8 again, please, Judy. Up. You all right?
A short time later, Avenatti came running in and was screaming, "She hit me first, she hit me first. This is bullshit."
All right, guys. So you see, this is something that Uncle Joey sent me. And before I even tried to unpack it, I said, you know what? Let's just let the dust settle. Let's give it 24 hours, and let's see what happens. And sure enough, I tell you, I'm really starting to get the idea. And what's going on is, I tell you what, TMZ and the guys that we're going to talk about really started messing with a hornet's nest. And I want to tell you, the last person on earth you want to mess with is Avenatti. So, Judy, let's prove my point with clip number 9, please.
I'm not going to get into the details, but Jacob, if you're watching, I'm coming for you.
Coming for you.
Okay, sir. And does that mean you will be subpoenaing him to testify for you in court, to be a witness?
If I was Jacob, I would not be sleeping well at night. Let me just say that.
Uh-oh. I would not be sleeping well at night. Well, I'm sure that's not a threat. But guys, let's be honest. If you're going to have a bulldog like Avenatti coming after you, you ain't going to be a happy camper. And you know what? The beauty of the next clip, guys, the Young Turks did a beautiful job on getting all the facts and evidence and putting all the pieces together. And when you watch what the right has done to try to trick the simple folk and to claim a case, to make something up that's completely false. And I want to tell you, I hope when Avenatti gets done with them, he sues them into extinction. But let's show you. We'll give you a taste of how much fun we're going to have. So, Judy, number 10, please.
One final video.
Gentleman in the back. Yes, sir.
Are you both prepared for federal prison?
No, we are not.
Well, look, we don't yet know the full details, as we've now said a number of times, okay? But if it turns out that they did make it up, as they have time and time and time again, these clowns on the right, okay? Now, unfortunately, they won't go to prison for a long, long time because it's technically a misdemeanor in California, and you can't get more than a year, okay? But they should give him 364 days, and they should make sure that Jacob Wall goes to prison if it turns out that he made it up and he paid someone, etc. And Avenatti should sue TMZ out of existence.
Sue him out of existence. Sue him into extinction. Just like they did with, Gawker, with Hulk Hogan. He won such a big lawsuit, they went bankrupt. And guys, if you're going to do stuff like this, we're going to come after you. Just like we came after Alex Jones. You know, we got him eliminated and eradicated. You know, how Alex Jones was passing a bunch, and he's history. So, you know, hopefully TMZ will be history. And after tonight's show, a lot of other people are going to say, yeah, goodbye. Goodbye. I ain't putting up with this garbage anymore. So, guys, now we're going to the longer version, the extended version. And, guys, we're going to show you a lot of the little short clips, the extended version of the clips. So if there's something that you really liked, on YouTube, you'll be able to fast forward to it. But like I said, we're going to start with some fun, and we're going to start with clip number 13, which is Fox News actually saying that CNN, that Acosta got his CNN Pest Pass reinstated, but listen at the end, because even Fox News says, hey, you know, we're all in this together. Can you imagine what would happen if they revoked our White House privileges? So, Judy, let's have clip number 13, please.
All right, we are just now getting some breaking news on the ruling on that CNN lawsuit against White House reporter Jim Acosta from CNN. The White House revoked his press pass, you'll remember, and a judge is ruling in favor of Jim Acosta and CNN. And the judge there is saying that the fact that CNN has other pass holders does not make the harm to Acosta any less irreparable. The judge is saying that the whole thing about Acosta placing the hands on the intern was of questionable accuracy. The judge also went on to criticize the government's defense of its procedures in revoking Acosta's press pass. I'm looking down because this is just coming in to our newsroom right here. The federal judge, Timothy Kelly, in this case, says, quote, I will grant the application for the temporary restraining order. I order the government reinstate Jim Acosta's press pass. So the hearing is still ongoing, but that, of course, just coming down, and we wanted to make sure that we brought that to you.
Fox News had joined CNN in protesting the administration's actions on freedom of the press grounds. And so now the judge is saying that he will grant the application for a temporary restraining order, forcing the White House, in effect, to give Jim Acosta his press pass back. The hearing is still ongoing, as Sandra mentioned, saying that the harm to freedom of the press outweighs the government's need for an orderly press conference. So that seems to be the judge's main thinking as to why he's granting Jim Acosta and CNN his White House pass back.
All right, so the judge has ordered that the White House return the press pass of Jim Acosta. This just coming into our newsroom. As we get more on this, we will bring that to you.
Guys, the audacity of Trump to think that if he doesn't like what you have to say, he's going to have you banned. Who the hell does he think he is, president? You know, I mean, really, you know, Trump's a punk. And, you know, and that's why we call the show the Trump Slump, because, you know, most people in their second year, they go into what's called the sophomore slump. And I think that's becoming very, very apparent. And I tell you what, even though Trump's on a slump, Acosta's on a victory lap. And it's a victory for the First Amendment, guys. The very First Amendment. Freedom of speech. But maybe we should start calling it freedom of the phone. Because everybody's got a phone and everybody's tweeting everything. So can you imagine if your phone was blocked and you weren't allowed to get certain information and certain things were kept from you because Trump didn't like them? Could you imagine this, guys? No, no, no. We don't live in a third world country. This is the United States of America. So let's take a victory lap with Jim Acosta and let him explain the benefits of the First Amendment. Judy, number 14, please.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. Thank you very much.
Welcome back.
Well, you guys want to ask a question or? I could just tell you, I just want to say that I'm very grateful for what happened today, and grateful for my colleagues in the press who stood by us through all of this. You know, this was a test, and you know, I think we passed the test. And at this point, you know, honestly, guys, this is just any other day here at the White House for me. I would like to get back to work, and so should you. So go back to work, and we'll keep on doing our jobs.
Any advice for future journalists about what just happened?
You know, the only advice I would give to future journalists is to, you know, do your jobs. You know, try to, day in and day out when you do your job, do what's right, follow the truth. And that's always worked for me. And I try to do that, you know, every day that I come here to the White House. You know, journalists need to know that in this country, their First Amendment rights, freedom of the press, are sacred. They're protected in our Constitution. And, you know, throughout all of this, I was confident, and I felt that this would be the result at the end of the day, that our rights would be protected to continue to cover our government and hold our leaders accountable. And beyond that, you know, on that note, that's my cue to go back to work. So thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Guys, you know, with Trump, it comes down, it's very simple. He's always talking about fake news. Well, what's fake news? Fake news is any fake news that he doesn't like. It's that simple. And he'll ban you. If he doesn't like what you have to say, he'll ban you. And but you know, guys, you saw the earlier clip where we played where Trump said what a terrific casino businessman he was. Well, once again, he lied. And you know, the thing is, I was watching the press. I was watching CBS. I was watching Fox, and I watched Chris Wallace deliberately on Sunday morning. And I tell you, you know, my ears are always up, and when I heard Trump say this thing where he was a successful businessman when it came to casinos, I said, wait a minute. He bankrupted 4 of them. But the average guy would not know that because they hear Trump boast how successful he was. But guys, we're here to do one thing on this show. We're here to find out who's telling the truth. And unfortunately, it ain't Trump. But fortunately, Uncle Rich is here to point it out. So Judy, let's have clip number 15, please. Trump Taj Mahal, bankruptcy number 1.
Take him on his first trip to the bankruptcy court.
Is well documented and
Trump in a slump.
Financial downturn in the past year.
He had to sell his assets, including the Trump shuttle,
his public humiliation,
his yacht,
as his once mighty empire cracked and then crumbled.
Crash and crumble. That's what happens when you play with money.
Oh, yeah, I think we're going to do very well with it. I think it's going to be, over the long term, a great business.
You don't think. You take advantage of people. He gave up half his interest in New York Plaza Hotel, but kept his stake in the casinos.
Even as the New York
2004, the Trump Hotel. Look at this.
Casino empire facing bankruptcy, his showbiz career is soaring.
I've had a great life. I've enjoyed my life. I've had a lot of fun. I've had some downs, but you know, I've had friends that went out of business. You'll never see them again. I never went bankrupt.
Company shed $500 million in debt.
What
and
goes up
bankruptcy
must
number
come
4.
down. And today, Trump Entertainment Resorts, owners of the Trump Taj Mahal, the Trump Plaza, and the Trump Marina casinos in Atlantic City, filed for bankruptcy protection. Trump himself stepped down from the board of directors on Friday, along with his daughter Ivanka.
board of directors. She doesn't know how to direct anything.
I have used the laws of this country, the chapter laws.
You use the laws of this country to take advantage of people.
To do a great job for my company,
not
for myself, for my employees, for my family, etc.
And that's from CNN Money, the one he hates, he loves to bash. And guys, we're going to put just a little more salt in the wound with a story from the Washington Post. And they did a beautiful job on what's going on in Atlantic City. And Kirk, can I have a little volume out here, please? I'm really having a tough time. So Judy, number 16, please.
What Trump built in Atlantic City was a Potemkin village. A facade that looks fabulous in the front, but behind which there is no substance. All there was Donald Trump's smile and a whole lot of unaffordable debt. That combination didn't make it. Atlantic City had suffered basically since the 1950s from a declining tourist and vacation market. So something was necessary as far as the state was concerned in order to assure Atlantic City's success. The people of New Jersey voted in 1976 to amend the Constitution, and the first casino opened in 1978.
This casino is now open.
It's not too long after that that Donald's interest develops. He starts flirting with Atlantic City, and he builds the plaza down there. He acquires the castle. He then went into an acquisition phase, which is really what the Taj is.
So he bought 3 casinos? What a
The
bonehead.
Taj was unlike any other property in Atlantic City. The casino floor was about twice the size of the typical casino floor in Atlantic City. And it was just unheard of to have a property on that scale. Huge amounts of money were invested in the building of the Taj. Hundreds of millions of dollars, but Trump felt that he could complete the property.
He promised the Casino Control Commission. He's got all kinds of lines to the banks. Major banks, one major bank, they'd love to dump money in my lap. You know, he led them to believe this transaction was uniquely something he could finance. Obviously, that's not exactly the way it turned out. He winds up relying totally on junk bonds.
A junk bond is so lowly rated that there's a high probability that you're not going to get your money back. There were 675 million issued, and a lot of the bonds were owned by small individuals. So little guys who weren't wealthy actually had a stake in that property.
No matter where you were building, it was very hard to get money out of traditional sources. So you know, junk bonds were the way you did it, just kind of like what he says about bankruptcy.
You used the laws of the country, the laws of the land, and I did.
It's the law of the land, I just took advantage of it. I think it's kind of the same thing there.
You had all of those people who were the giants in the gaming industry coming to Atlantic City. Now, in addition to that, you've got the #1 real estate developer in New York. What could be bad? How could this possibly go wrong?
Now, this report was written in the summer of 1989. I was very disturbed by the amount of debt that was being piled on these properties. The debt service was over $95 million a year. Those kind of numbers made it necessary for that casino to generate a win of over $1 million a day. And no casino in the world has ever done that at that time.
A historic meeting of showbiz and big biz, music's magic man and the Midas mogul ran the media gauntlet to open the world's glitziest casino. That fan hysteria reminded me of 96.
The Taj Mahal, at the time that it opened, was probably the largest casino in the world, and it was certainly magnificent. And for a short period of time, that new enthusiasm, the new excitement, the magic of it all was terrific.
Had a sense of such excess and opulence. This was in every way an attempt to convey empty wealth, which it turned out to be a lot emptier than Donald expected or that any of us saw coming.
By the end of 1990, which was less than a year after it opened, it was failing to generate the revenues that were necessary to fund the bonds that had built it. They just couldn't pay the debt. And as a result, that led to further bankruptcy proceedings and eventually to Trump's loss of the facility.
I have never gone bankrupt, by the way. I have never. But out of hundreds of deals,
but sir,
excuse me.
That's your line, but your companies have gone bankrupt.
Out of what am I saying?
He's right to say you're a liar. He does on the campaign trail now that he did not personally go bankrupt, but that's only because he was too big to go bankrupt. The banks had to keep him alive and breathing. And since then, he's become a wealthy man by selling the name that was based on failed projects. The real things that he built, where are they?
So when you talk about his legacy in Atlantic City, unfortunately, it is very ugly. If you look at his bankruptcy filings, for example, you see page after page after page of small businesses in Atlantic City that were thrilled when he got here, that would have built a statue to him when he got here. But at the end, all wound up with debt that could never be paid.
So guys, isn't it obvious that he doesn't know what he's doing? I mean, really, when you think about it, you look at the facts, you look at the figures, you know, who would build 3 casinos in the same area? Why compete against yourself? What are you, stupid? You stunad? When my father called you stunad, you knew you were in trouble. But guys, you know, it all comes down to Trump and the fake news. And I tell you, with Trump sitting down with Chris Wallace, just look what a fool he makes out of himself, and listen how everything is so distorted to Trump. So Judy, let's have clip number 17, please.
Let's get to the bigger issue. In 2017, last year, you tweeted this, and I want to quote it accurately. The fake news media is not my enemy. It is the enemy
ABC,
of the American
CBS,
people.
It's true, 100%.
Not the media. I'm glad you're finally quoting it correctly, because they like to leave the fake news.
Okay, but that's what you said.
Fake news. So the people that are supporting me in particular, they're very smart people. They're hardworking,
how could they
brilliant,
be smart?
great people. They know when the news is fake, and they get angry when they see all of the fakeness. Frankly, the network.
There have been people who've been critical of other presidents. No president has liked his press coverage. John Kennedy in your Oval Office canceled the subscription to the New York Herald Tribune. Nobody called it the enemy of the American people.
Chris, I'm calling the fake news is the enemy. It's fake. It's phony. They'll take something
good. It's just news you don't like.
No, it's not. No, I don't.
Guys, that's what it comes down to. Any news he doesn't like is fake and it's phony. And that's it. It's simple. And Chris Wallace is trying to corral him, but hey, Trump is good. Let's be honest with each other. Trump is good, and let's see how shifty he can be with clip part 2, number 18. Hit it.
I'm totally in favor of the media. I'm totally in favor of free press. We've got to be fair press. When it's fake.
But the president get to decide what's fair and what's not.
I can tell what's fair and not, and so can my people, and so can a lot of other people.
But
when you do something very good and they write it badly, and this is consistently, when you, as an example, rarely do they talk about...
Barack Obama whined about Fox News all the time, but he never said we were the enemy of the people.
Well, no, he didn't talk about the news. He didn't talk about anything. I'm only saying it very differently than anyone's ever said it before. I'm saying fake news, false reporting, dishonest reporting, of which there is a lot, and I know it. See, I know it because I'm a subject of it. A lot of people don't know it, but when I explain it to them, they understand it. And Chris, you know that better. You don't have to sit here and act like a perfect little wonderful, innocent angel. I know you too well. I knew your father too well. That's not your gene. But let me tell you,
I think some of the coverage of you, sir, and I've said it on the record, is biased. But I don't think that
most of it is biased.
I don't know, but the idea that you call us the enemy of the people.
I'm not calling you that.
I'm talking about we're all together.
You don't understand it.
We're all together.
No.
We're
I'm
all
not
together.
calling you.
It doesn't matter what you call. When you call CNN and the New York Times, we're in solidarity, sir.
I am calling fake news. Fake reporting is what's tearing this country apart. Because people know, people like things that are happening.
Guys, after you watch a clip like that, and I mean Uncle Joey, Ken Johnson, Eddie Shalhoub, after you watch a clip like that, don't you say to yourself, wait a minute, I think something's wrong with this guy. I mean, did he look like he was a rational human being to you? Does he look like all the wheels are turning? I mean, does he look delusional? I mean, really. I mean, it's kind of hard to believe. And, you know, he was talking about false reporting and dishonest reporting. And guys, the next clips we're going to show you is going to show you beyond a doubt exactly what people will do to really badger somebody and to really harm their reputation. And I tell you, what they tried to do with Michael Avenatti and how they exposed him and they show everything, by the time these clips are done, you're going to be saying, man, we got to go after TMZ, and it's time to get TMZ out of here. So they'll be next on our list. So let's have some fun with some good factual reporting and guys, watch how they cite their sources. The one thing that we say so often on this show, be specific and cite your source. So Judy, let's have some fun with clip number 21, please.
Yesterday, news broke and TMZ reported erroneously that Michael Avenatti was arrested and charged with domestic violence, and the erroneous part of the report indicated that he had allegedly committed domestic violence against his estranged wife. However, to correct that story, his estranged wife has come forward and said, no, that did not happen. In fact, I've never had any type of domestic violence issue with Michael Avenatti. He's never laid a hand on me. Now, to give you some more details on that, Miss Story Avenatti was not subject to any such incident. Further, she was not at Mr. Avenatti's apartment on the date that this alleged incident occurred. My client states that there has never been domestic violence in her relationship with Michael, and that she has never known Michael to be physically violent toward anyone.
Wait a minute.
In fact, Avenatti's first wife came forward and also backed him up. First wife also came to his defense, calling him a loving father who has never been abusive. Now, right now, it's unclear what's really going on, and I want to be 100% clear about that with you guys. I think this story is incredibly fishy, and honestly, I'm going to criticize myself for not being more suspicious when this story broke as we were on the air yesterday. The original story was reported by TMZ. Harvey Levin, who runs TMZ, is a huge Trump supporter, huge Trump fan. Now, that's not to say that there was malicious intent. We don't know if there was malicious intent.
Probably there was, though, because Harvey Levin has supported Donald Trump through all of his actions, monstrous as they are, against every community in this country, including his own. He does it for profit, I guess. Oh, hey, I have access to power. You must be so proud, Harvey. So TMZ usually has videos. That's what they're famous for. Did they have a video of this one, of Michael Avenatti striking the woman?
I don't believe so.
No, they didn't. No. Oh, that's weird. Why are we listening to TMZ? Look, don't listen to any Trump allies. They're all total liars, okay? We told you not to listen to the National Enquirer and David Pecker. And people are like, oh, no, well, the National Enquirer is reporting Ted Cruz has 5 mistresses. Hillary Clinton has a brain aneurysm. Well, are you nuts? Okay, and it turns out, just like we told you, they made up stuff on behalf of Donald Trump. Now David Pecker has turned around and given evidence against Trump, presumably, because he's talking to the special counsel. We told you! And then any right-wing website, Gateway Pundit, reporting some of this total trash. Yeah. Nothing but lies. So, no, you don't believe that stuff. Harvey Levin, you got any video? No, then shut up. Okay, a clear, biased, Trump-supporting clown. Okay, have I been clear enough, Harvey?
So one other thing that I do want to mention, forget about TMZ. What does matter is what we are hearing from police. Police are not releasing many details, but they did confirm that Michael Avenatti did get arrested on possible domestic violence charges, domestic violence accusations, and they're investigating it. But that's the only details that we know from law enforcement at this time. With that said, though, Michael Avenatti is trying to be clear with everyone and saying that he has never laid a hand on a woman. In fact, during a press conference, here's what he had to say.
I have never struck a woman. I never will strike a woman. I have been an advocate for women's rights my entire career, and I'm going to continue to be an advocate. I am not going to be intimidated from stopping what I am doing. I am a father to 2 beautiful, smart daughters. I would never disrespect them by touching a woman inappropriately or striking a woman. I am looking forward to a full investigation, at which point I am confident that I will be fully exonerated.
Okay, so look, guys, so why am I so upset? Do I know for a fact that Avenatti did not hit a woman? No, I don't know that. But that's what happens when you put these kind of charges out there. And it's not corroborated yet. They said he was charged with a felony. Not true. Not charged with a felony. Not true. That we know, okay? They said that it was his estranged wife that got hit. Not true. We already know 2 things that Trump allies said about Avenatti are totally not true and reported by all of the press immediately. Now, right now, we don't know about whether the sheriff's office says, or the police in LA say, look, there is a victim, alleged victim outside of the wives, okay? Do they have enough evidence that they've already charged him with a felony, etc.? No, okay? So it's up in the air. But if you, and Avenatti says, look, I understand the cops had to do what they had to do given that somebody, the situation that they had, somebody reports something, well, what are they supposed to do, right? So he's actually really decent to the cops, right? Mm-hmm. And he said they treated him with respect and they did acted in the right way. It forces all reasonable people like us to say, of course there's no way to know right now, so we don't know. But we know the sources, and the sources are trash.
So let's talk about the sources, because...
And guys, that's what it always comes down to. Be specific and cite your source. And guys, this is all alleged. Most of it was with an alleged victim. And he was, it wasn't true that they said he was charged with a felony when he wasn't. And they said it was not true about his wife said she wasn't involved. So those are 2 things that weren't true. But if you want to ruin somebody's reputation, all you really got to do is say something, right? But you're starting to see how this is starting to unravel. And you're going to watch all the pieces fall into place. So, Judy, let's have some more fun with, this will be clip number 22 now.
But we know the sources, and the sources are trash.
So let's talk about the sources, because that is extremely relevant at the moment. So in his denial of committing any type of domestic violence, Michael Avenatti mentioned someone named Jacob Wall, this very young man who created a company known as Surefire Intelligence. So the attorney suggested in a tweet that far-right conspiracy theorist Jacob Wall was to blame for his arrest. Now, Jacob Wall says, no, there's no way this is happening. In fact, let's go to graphic 12. Michael Avenatti seems to believe that I am responsible for him raising his hand to a woman. I am not. Will he release the pictures of his battered victim? Well, interesting, because why would Michael Avenatti think that Jacob Wall is behind this, or that Surefire Intelligence is behind this? Maybe it's because Surefire Intelligence tweeted, Surefire Intelligence strikes again.
There it is. So they are taking credit for Avenatti being arrested in the first place. So now, it's possible that they're doing it after the fact, right? Like, oh, okay, we'll just jump in and try to. They're notorious liars, and I'll explain that that's fact-based in a second. Okay, so that's one possibility. The other possibility is they framed him, and right-wing frame people all the time. In fact, this same exact group and this same exact guy, Jacob Wall, just tried to frame Robert Mueller on allegations against women.
Yeah, rape allegations.
Almost the same exact thing.
You
one is,
believe this,
okay,
guys?
rape allegations, totally unfounded, and is now reported to the FBI, investigating Jacob Wall and Berkman, his partner in crime in that case, maybe quite literally, right?
All right.
And in this
The
case, now
FBI's
we're going to have
after
another Trump opponent and another set of charges about how domestic violence, and from the same guys.
So I actually do want to get into that in more detail, because it gives you a sense of who Jacob Wall is, what Surefire Intelligence is, and how they are essentially doing smear campaigns and trying to go after people with criminal allegations that have absolutely no evidence, absolutely no credibility or merit behind them. So as Cenk had mentioned, Jacob Wall had accused Mueller of committing rape back in the 70s. And he claimed that he had the victim, the woman, and he even had a press conference with Berkman, and the press conference was a complete and utter disaster. This is what led to the FBI beginning its investigation into Jacob Wall. By the way, Jacob Wall has been barred for life from futures trading due to defrauding investors in 2016. So that's who Jacob Wall is. Anyway, so I'm going to give you some portions of this press conference to give you an idea of what a joke he is. I mean, it was such a joke that reporters couldn't help but laugh at him during the conference.
He was supposed to bring out the so-called victim of Robert Mueller. And one other important thing here, super important to note, that in the fake Mueller controversy that Wall started, they tried to pay women to make up stories. And the women came forward and are now talking to the FBI saying, yeah, they tried to pay me to say something bad about Mueller.
A woman by the name of Lorraine Parsons said that she was approached and offered $20,000 to lie about being raped by Mueller.
So the same guy takes credit for the Avenatti arrest, is known now as a person who pays women to lie about political opponents. This clown of clowns. We got more information on him, but now with that background, let's look at this hilarious, ridiculous press conference they put together. Where's the woman? Let's find out.
The Washington Post reported that Mr. Mueller, they re-reported that Mr. Mueller was at jury duty as to discredit this accuser. That's why they re-reported it. That's why it's going around. But real quick, excuse me.
August 3rd, 2010.
Excuse me. Rather than double-checking and saying, wait a second, was he only at jury duty? Sometimes people go to jury duty, but they're also somewhere else. Was he only at jury duty? No, instead of, oh, hang on, it's not funny. This is not a laughing matter.
No, it is, because you're a clown. And you just squirted some water out of the flour on your lapel. And you got big floppy shoes on. Where's the witness? They're like, we're going to do a big press conference. We've got a witness. We've got a woman who says that Mueller did terrible things. And then do the press conference. And everybody said ahead of time, and we covered it ahead of time, saying there won't be a woman. They've done press conferences like this before. Berkman, his partner, this is what he's known for. He's like, oh, I've got somebody. It's going to be an amazing press conference. And nobody shows up. Every single time. Yeah. He's like, this is not a laughing matter. Where's the woman? Oh, yeah, you made it up.
Okay. There's more video that I want to show you, but before we get to that, I have to give you this other wonderful nugget. So Surefire Intelligence, of course, reporters are going to investigate it to try to figure out whether or not this is a credible organization. And so the company argued that they had international investigators. So you would go to the website to see who these international investigators are. And the person stationed in Israel was Bar Raffaeli, who is an Israeli supermodel.
Well, they must be really well connected. No, look, that's why I said he's clown of all clowns. he's pretending to run this surefire intelligence thing. You go to the website and look at the pictures. Christoph Waltz, okay, supermodels, actors, etc. And he didn't bother taking like random people. He took super famous people and pretended that they were people working for surefire intelligence. How lazy and stupid and incompetent are you? But one of my favorites is he's like, no, it's okay. It's not really me behind it. It's Matthew Cohen, managing partner at Surefire Intelligence. And it's got Matthew Cohen's picture, except he's in the shadows, so you can't see him. Like, first of all, who puts that picture up online where you can't see somebody's face? And then they figured out it's actually Wool's picture. Oh, no, you're such an idiot.
And the phone number for the Surefire Intelligence headquarters goes to Jacob Wool's mom's house.
He's doing it out of his mommy's basement. Out of his mommy's basement. And the entire national media took it seriously.
It's amazing.
Holy moly. So the kid's phone number is his mother's house? I mean, this is, and guys, all right, we got one more part to the clip, but first, we're going to confound you with some nonsense that Uncle Joey sent to me in the beginning. And guys, watch how everything is ass backwards, and watch how they're conflating two completely different things. They're talking about Kavanaugh and Avenatti responding to Kavanaugh, and they're showing, just watch how they've done it, and watch how easy it is to trick people like Uncle Joey. So, Judy, let's have clip number 24, please. You with me? 24. That's it. No volume. All right, it looks like we have a problem with the audio on that one. But guys, I wish we could have showed that, because it was a real effort to really trick people like Uncle Joey, to get him to think that Avenatti attacked this woman. And they took everything out of context and out of sequence. And I want to tell you, it's a shame that we couldn't play it for you. But you know what? We're going to play the fourth part in the Young Turks. And guys, you could see, we can finish up and we could see what they tried to do and how they tried to pull the wool over everybody's eyes and trick everybody, but they didn't, the Young Turks didn't let them get away with it. So Judy, clip number 25, please. That's 24. 25. That's number 25, and there's no volume on that? Something's got to be wrong. Is Candy out there? All right. I don't know what's going on. All right, so, okay. All right. We'll play clip number 25 if you can. And in the meantime, yeah, you guys, you could see the trial. Am I coming through? Yeah, you're coming through. All right, so you can see the trials and tribulations we go through. And this ain't easy. All right, but anyway, you know, we have new equipment, and you know, we try our best. And all right, so I don't know. You want to run the credits, or what about 26? Does that work? Because that's what we're going to be doing. All right. All right. I am a father to two beautiful, smart daughters. I would never disrespect